From the Northern River reversal discussed by Elena Sorokina, we now come to Katrin Hornek's presentation titled Upstream, the Colorado River from Salton Sea to Glen Canyon. Katrin Hornek is an artist and curator based in Vienna, dealing playfully with different ecological issues. She participated in numerous exhibitions internationally. In her bio on the web it can be read, both her artistic and her curatorial practice assert an understanding of the entwinement of nature and culture, implicitly arguing for more complex formulations, one that reflect the ways in which our bodies, cultures, materials and thoughts are all composed of the other creatures and rocks and air and water that make up the world. I think that's very nice and will maybe directly lead into what Katrin will present us now. Please.
First of all, thank you very much, Oliver, for inviting me also to show the video I made in Los Angeles in 2013 within this framework. The video itself takes 30 minutes, so I decided to give you a brief introduction, and that I don't have time to show the whole, so I'm going to give you a brief introduction, then show maybe 15, 18 minutes of the video, and then hopefully there's time for some discussion. So, as I said, I did the film in Los Angeles. I had the Schindler residency in 2013, and when I arrived, I realized that a very big and heavy drought was active in the area, and it already started in 2012, and actually it lasted until 2017, so actually just this year in April it stopped. But already in 2013, as you see, people kind of stopped watering their lawns, but spray painting the lawns, and you could really feel, or I, for the first time since being there for half a year, had really the physical experience of what it means being in a zone, or like in a, or feeling the kind of political pressure and also the human pressure in a way that there is no water, or that the water could, the drinking water could run dry. So I started very naturally to find the theme of working with water issues and water rights. And I started researching on the Colorado River, because the Colorado River is said to make the desert bloom, and it's like the symbol of the southwestern frontier, like also Stagecoach, the very famous film of Tom Ford from '39, also branded the region, like the Imperial Valley close to the Grand Canyon, as the symbol of the Wild West, in big brackets. And also, when you follow the Colorado River in its American history, it was it was conquered as an American river in 1846, after the Mexican-American War. And when you follow the timeline of the river from the 19th century in the 21st century, you also find, of course, the history of colonialization and so-called modernization. And by researching, I also started being really interested in this construction of a river, like of a river that is a hybrid of human and non-human agencies, of economic interests, technology, of course politics, and how also shifting laws and political laws, together with the reaction of natural systems form this very complex and hybrid river system. So I decided to do a film that works in two parts. One part that works on a timeline basis, following, as I said, the stream as kind of a stream of consciousness, to kind of try to unfold these complex relations. And then the second part, what is 2/3, is I physically drove the Colorado River. So I decided to kind of section the Colorado River in its political terms. So I started from the constructed end, the Salton Sea, until Glen Canyon. It's like the lower Colorado River basin. The Colorado River is dissected in two parts, the upper and the lower Colorado River. And yes, so as I said, it's the constructed end of the Colorado River since the 80s, since the 1960s. It hardly, like it used to go into here, the Gulf of California and Mexico, but it hardly, like it used to be a very big delta, but it hardly reaches the sea, only if Mexican farmers really invest in water that gets diverted there, but it's very, very rarely. Most of the water goes into the Imperial Valley, and the Imperial Valley is one of the biggest granaries of California, and also showing this complex history. The Salton Sea is a very good case study because the Salton Sea got kind of built in 1905 to 1907 when the diverted water, like settlers diverted water from the river, and the dams broke, and for 2 years the entire body of the Colorado River poured into the Salton Sea, creating the Salton Sea, which is almost as big as Los Angeles. And it also has a very troubled career because it spanned from a very productive freshwater fishery into a very productive saltwater fishery since due to evaporation and runoffs from the Imperial Valley, the water quality, of course, turned really bad, also since it's not connected to any water flow, so it became very salty. In the 50s, people developed it as an oasis in the desert, so you have like Bombay Beach and Holiday Inn and like all these kind of developments there, but now when you walk there, you actually walk on a white sand beach that is made out of fish bones. So much to that. Then I traveled to the All-American Channel, a constructed channel and border between Mexico and California, and it's said to be one of the most deadliest borders between the two countries. You have the Hoover Dam, which is the kind of the heart of the lower Colorado River basin. And it's also the technological monument, I would say, and it's still the biggest concrete dam in the Western Hemisphere. And then, of course, you have Grand Canyon, which is the natural symbol and natural monument of the Colorado River. And at the moment, it gets flooded in order to mimic pre-dam conditions. So I'm going to show you now segments of the film, and as I said, I can't show the whole, so I'm going to switch during the presentation. Yes.
tallest concrete dam in the Western Hemisphere. Hoover Dam stands 726 feet tall and stretches 1,244 feet across the top, but only 78 feet across the base. It looks somewhat like an upside-down pyramid. This massive arched gravity structure contains 3,250,000 cubic yards of concrete. That's enough concrete to build the two-lane highway from San Francisco to New York City. It has been said that in the shadow of
So you followed the river upstream, which is maybe an unexpected approach, as one might expect a film would follow a river in the direction of its flow. I mean, maybe it's a symbol of your interest to explore the river's secrets and to go back to its origin, or what was the reason for it?
I think I have to add two closing remarks, because the script, like usually it's kind of more like an installation setup where the sound is also very important, like it becomes physical, and also I guess not all of you could read the beginning remarks and things like this. And also the water was running backwards, like the whole video is shot backwards, but also the whole material was rewinding. So if you looked very closely to the water, you could see, and actually water does have a running direction. Also when you film it, you could see that it's off. So like the whole film is reverse. And on the one hand, I was really interested in those kind of technological fixes, or like to use a technological device to capture something, also like a device that produces images and symbols, but then also through montage, of course. And also in this idea of, I don't know, geoengineering ideas where you have this weird idea of quick fix or turning something back to something. So those kind of things. And yeah, yes, and yeah.
So it's also a film on the failure of this modernist approach to kind of change things according to needs of people, right?
Or open up the field for discussion, because it also does give you these heroic images in a way, but then in the beginning you have to sit through this stream of kind of this text stream, and like also like how the film is segmented, like that in the beginning you really have to fall into it in order to not die of boredom. Like you have to, you are either in or out, and then comes this other image section, and like to open up these fields for discussions. I think it's nothing that really points a sharp finger, but opens all these questions, I hope.
Are there any questions?
Do you have a certain concept for the sound?
Yes, the sound was made by Willem Toben. It was the first time I worked together with a composer, and we were talking the sections through of the Colorado River, so he decided to have as following the river, and when you see it in a whole, actually it's hard to see just segments because it's like this whole storyline. It starts out with kind of original sound, and then it pours into these drones. So also here you have these, and then also dissonances and harmonies and all those kind of things. Yes, so also here you have this interplay of original sound, more technological sounds, so yeah.
In one sequence we could see the logo of that Bureau of Reclamation, yeah. And in the foreground we could see the dam, and in the background there was a mountain with kind of a glacier or so, which I found very interesting. Do you know if this glacier is still exists, and if it's really there, and when the logo was designed?
The Bureau of Reclamation was founded in the early like in the beginning of the 20th century. I could look it up. I think it's around 1903 or something. I don't know when the logo was made, but here. I never saw that, but I mean, it's like the green thing is Lake Mead. It's like the biggest lake that is created through the Hoover Dam, and I think it goes as far as maybe Colorado, where the Colorado River starts. Like I guess it's kind of fictionalizing this whole stream that I really Yeah,
but it's interesting that they want to put in that logo that like there's enough water in the ice.
And actually what's funny is that the Lake Mead, like this part that they are symbolizing here, is really also became a symbol of the drying out of the Colorado River. Like you could really see these white stripes appearing here. So like this is how, and this was in 2013, so until 2017 it became really, really bad, and now there were a lot of floodings. So, yeah, here you see it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there a last question?
The residents of this area, are they self-aware, or is it?
Say it again.
Are the residents of this area self-aware about the problem, or do they glorify the technical advances and see themselves as the pinnacle of water engineering? I don't know.
I think like the route I took, it's the whole lower Colorado River basin. So by car it takes you like 3 days or something. So I guess there are very different opinions on what they think about the Colorado River. Also, the more you go downstream, the more the water is totally polluted. So this is another issue. And also, for instance, Lake Mead is also the drinking water reservoir for Las Vegas, for instance. And in Las Vegas, like this is the, it's kind of harmless, but it also blew the media that in Las Vegas people were not allowed anymore to water their lawns, of all the other things. So, and also, like, of course, First Nation rights, like there is also a very long history of fighting to reclaim the water, because the Colorado River is so sectioned, like how much water goes to whom. So I think like it's a whole controversy, but I guess, and for instance, the farmers in Imperial Valley, when the water falls short, they have the rights, for instance, to get the water first, even though they're the last one on the lines. So I guess like this also shows this whole conflict zone around the issue of water there.
Thanks, Katrin.